Hey everyone, my name is Neil Karski and I'm the CEO of Patient Engine, a seven-figure digital marketing, lead conversion, and coaching agency for high-ticket aesthetics providers. And I would like to personally welcome you to the Aesthetics Millionaires show, where we sit down with industry entrepreneurs to talk about their personal journeys and discuss proven growth strategies. My genuine hope is that through this podcast, we can create more success stories in this industry and help more business owners scale past their competition. Enjoy the show.
Today, I would like to welcome a special guest, a dear client of mine from La Crosse, Wisconsin, the owner and CEO of Driftless Aesthetics, Tommi Jo Hanna.
Hi, Neil.
Hi. How was the drive?
It was great.
Was it?
A lot of sunshine. Yes. Could be worse this time of year.
Sunshine in the Midwest. I know. I was on the plane and I was like, man, what a blessing.
It's an opportunity to be here and meet you and talk about nothing but greatness.
So speaking about greatness, let's dive into your story a little bit. Tell us about, obviously we know where you are right now, but let's talk about where you started. So let's rewind it a little bit. Let's talk about like the initial point of your journey that got you into entrepreneurship, into aesthetics, into being your own boss, into owning a spa. Where did it start? When did it start?
Yeah. Most people don't know this about me, but I'm a nurse practitioner, but I also have an MBA and MHA. So prior to becoming a mom, I ran a healthcare company for almost 6 years. And then once I had Riker, stayed at home, was a stay-at-home mom.
What type of, wait.
Yeah.
We gotta rewind. So you're a nurse practitioner. You were at a hospital, I assume, right? You started at a hospital.
I actually worked for myself. I was 1099 and yeah.
When was that?
That was all through COVID. I did consulting for a Fortune 500 company based out of New York, and we mitigated risk for big companies bringing their staff back into the workplace. So I worked remotely from home using my NP role.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that was it. That was the first entrepreneurial gig.
The company I used to run for a long time, we contracted with the military, and I was their only employee. So I was working. We started from the ground up, and I was their only employee working out of a garage with kid toys and bees. And I helped them grow from like $96,000 their first year to 6 years later, bringing in almost $6 million. Cool. So I got to grow every phase with them. So along that journey, they encouraged me to go back to school, get my undergrad in business. Tommi Jo, you need to keep on going. And that's where working with a business from ground zero just really grew in my brain, and I loved it.
And so you did that for how many years?
6.
Okay, you did that for 6 years, and then what happened next?
I started my family, and then baby Riker came along, and then I couldn't travel the world anymore. I was traveling, going anywhere there is a military installation. Sometimes we'd be working with 300 staff every weekend, and I couldn't do that anymore. So I became a stay-at-home mom, put on the mom role, and then when Riker was almost 3 and living in rural America again, closer to my family, I'm like, what can I combine with my current education?
Was this in La Crosse?
It was out in the country, like an hour from La Crosse, and jobs are really hard to find. Daycare is expensive. Nothing pays above $20 an hour. Yeah. I'm like, well, holy shit, what am I going to do? And so I had a great time in my life being at home with Riker. We did so much more with less, and it was very humbling. But I'm like, okay, that inner drive was in me, mommy's got to do more. And so I'm like, oh, great. I can go back to school. And then I'll go to nursing school. It's only 4 semesters. How hard can that be? And it ended up being one of the toughest things in my life because now I have a little one at home and there's no sleep. Nursing school's hard. If it were easy, everyone would do it. And then got through nursing school, worked in the hospital setting, and then COVID came. And my husband's like, you wanted to go back and get your NP? Let's do it. And it wasn't very long. It was only 14 months long because I already had so much of it done from my undergrad in healthcare management. And so
that was 2021.
2020. Yep. I went back to school.
And then 2021 you finished.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we're done with our NP.
Yep. And then
what now?
Yeah, what now? And then I was seeing mental health patients up in Great Northern Minnesota. And it was a very underserved town, a little small mining town. And women were coming in with like beautiful foreheads, and the rest from like here down, well, it matched very bad choices. So I'm like, this isn't making sense to me. So I started asking, and they're like, oh, I get Botox for migraines, and state insurance covers it. And I'm like,
wow,
I can do Botox. But when people want a neurotoxin, they want the kitchen sink. So I'm away from my family, 6 hours away from home, stuck in a hotel. What does mommy do? She drafts a 34-page business plan. I did a ton of research on what it would take to open my own business. Came home, presented it to my husband, and I knew it would take our entire life savings to do this. It's not cheap.
What did he say at first?
He first said, you did this? And I was like, well, yeah, it didn't write itself. Followed by, if anyone can do it, it's you. And I was
very cool. So he was very supportive.
So supportive. And I was like, I'm sorry.
And then he was like, how much is it going to cost?
Well, I had it all on paper. And
he was fine with it.
And I just said, I was taken aback because I thought for sure like there was going to be, some kind of push on my end to get this going. And he's like, and I just said, this means I can use our entire life savings and do this plus some. He's like, let's do it. He's like, do you have a space picked out? And I'm like, actually, I do.
Oh.
And he's like, where? And then, well, that's where we are today.
Cool. So tons of questions here. So one, so Driftless Aesthetics, how did that brand came about? I'm huge on brands. So how did that come about?
Yeah.
Obviously you're in a very interesting demographic and location. So how did you come up with that?
Yeah. So if you look at the history of when glaciers came through millions of years ago, we're in the only untouched area in the whole entire world that was not touched by glaciers. So they call it the driftless region.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense. Very cool.
Driftless Aesthetics.
Okay. So what types of services did you start with?
Everything we have
in
today.
2021.
Everything we have today.
Everything you have today.
Everything.
So you just loaded yourself up with overhead right off day one.
You bet.
Awesome.
Why not?
Good move. Let's go.
Well, the office was being built out. I was actually traveling the country, getting trained in the world of aesthetics.
Okay. So let's go through the repertoire of the services that you have. You have injectables.
Yep.
IV therapy.
You bet.
Body sculpting.
Yes.
Medical weight loss. And I know you have other facial aesthetics and rejuvenation and anti-aging and stuff like that. Did I miss anything? Hormones, peptides.
Yep.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So full service
one-stop shop.
Okay. I know you and I have done some analytics together on where a lot of your revenue is coming from, but it took a while to get to a point where you are right now. So
2 years.
2 years, which can, I would say from a standpoint of scale, I think you've scaled a lot faster than a lot of people, which is impressive.
I had a mission.
Yeah.
I had debt to pay off.
Did you do 7 figures year one? Or was it?
We were at 786 year one.
Very cool.
Yep. And then took it to 1.1 in year 2. And then reach goal in year 3, which this would be our reach goal year, is 145, so 1,450,000. But I would be super happy with 20% growth. So my team is on track for 30% growth, but I would be super happy at 20%.
Okay. Let's talk about year one then. I know I like to think, this is not to take credit away from you because I think you've done a really great job. I think it's more manageable to scale in a less saturated area if you have a good brand, if you have a good product, if you have good people, if you're getting clients results, which you obviously did. So let's talk about that a little bit. What would you attribute a lot of your success to? Because I know we started working together about 6 months ago. You were not doing a lot of paid ads, which is impressive because I'm a paid ads guy from open your doors till you die. But let's talk about your growth up until, that first 7-figure kind of run rate. what did you do from a marketing standpoint, customer experience, customer retention, like some of these things? I want to help other people understand that like there's other ways to grow your spa as well. But it does take a lot of hard work.
It does.
And you're always trading your time with money, right? So for me, I opened my spa and I was like, paid ads, let's go. I'm going to throw in $5K every single month in ad spend. I want as many people as possible so I can sell as many people as possible. But
because you knew.
I knew. I was like, yeah, I can plug and play, baby.
Yeah,
let's go.
I had no clue.
Right. Yeah. But it's okay. But you did have a clue in other areas. So let's talk about those other areas. So let's talk about the business plan, because that's super impressive. And I'm sure a lot of people struggle with having the right direction and goals and the framework in place to execute. It seems like, you had the experience, you culminated like your NP, MBA, and then your real life experience.
It just all came together.
Working in this business, you're like, okay, I got to apply this. I got to work for myself. So let's talk about the first year and what happened. What happened as far as like what worked, maybe what didn't work. I want to know that too. But let's talk about those things because I think that's important. Like year one is like,
it's hard.
Critical. It's critical, right?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard shit. And any new business owner, as you know, like you have no idea what you're doing and you're building out your own blueprint. And I just knew I had to come in strong. I had to come in hard and build out the authority in what I was doing and be at that top 5% to make myself stand out. So I learned right away, marketing is key and marketing ads. But I think at that time it was maybe $1,000 a month we were doing in social media ads, and I didn't have the staff to support it. And then as things got rolling, then I started investing in more ads. And then we go into year 2, and then we upped our ad spend to about $33,000 in 2024. And then we met you, and that changed. And then we
cranked it up, baby.
You cranked it way up. And so now we're at like $7,000 a month in social media ads. But now I'm at a point where I don't have the staff to do. And I think I sent you like a utilization report. You're like, Tommi Jo, I don't know what to do with this. I'm like, I'm telling you, I don't have the staff to take on more. And I think between Jordan and I, who is my nurse injector, we're at 138% right now. So that's us working well over.
Good problem to have.
It's a very good problem to have. We feel very blessed.
Yeah.
And so going back to year 1, I think just figuring out like the whole entire business, like the industry, like I had no idea. You have to land on your face quite a few times.
Let's talk about those lessons. What kind of lesson? What kind of not losses but lessons did you encounter that helped you really, go take 5 steps back but 10 steps forward?
Yeah. I talked with Heather about this. Like I should have listened to my husband a little bit more. Like he has a huge business background. And I feel I didn't lean into him as much as I should have because I was trying to do this on my own. And it was something I wanted to take on. But my husband's pretty cutthroat. Like he's black and white. And I feel like you have very similar traits in that aspect. And I didn't. And I should have listened to him more like from a financial investment standpoint. And I thought I had mentors and the right mentors.
Give me a specific example.
We had a mentor that we had hired in our first year, even before I started building out the office space, and it ended up it was negative. It was a really bad experience. And my husband told me early on, like, Tommi Jo, I don't think this person has your best interest at heart. And it took me a year to figure that out. And he was right. And so I feel if I would have partnered with someone like a Heather or a Neil, like early on, you don't know what you don't know. And then you figure out, okay, these people do know what they're doing. And these people are good. And then they have your best interest at heart. Correct. And it's key. Massive. Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of programs out there that really market themselves at being there to help out med spas grow and do all the marketing and do all the high level and do all the things that you want them to do and make good business decisions. And in the end, it was a horrible move on my part. And then I think having perhaps Gen Zers that did not want to be at work to actually grow their career. They wanted to come in and collect a paycheck. The HR aspect of that first year was really hard. motivating staff to do the right things. I had green staff. I was green. We were all learning together. Like it was a hard lesson, but I learned so much from it. And I just have learned that every day is a new opportunity to do something great and learn something new.
So besides lessons like choosing the right mentors and choosing the right growth partners, what are some of the other key lessons?
Marketing is number one. I had a really poor marketing. The mentor I had in year one also had like a marketing like person helping, and it was awful. It was an awful experience. So it has to be like the right people to help you grow, because those are like the good leads that you want coming in. There's alternatives that you don't want in your practice. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So having the right staff, choosing the right mentors, choosing the right growth partners, investing a lot in marketing.
And then knowing your KPIs too. Like I wish I would have dialed in with like a mentor that could have helped me digest that. Like in my first
Look
year.
at your data.
Yes. I had nobody. I had no support. I had no idea what I was doing. And so I feel like that was a lot of lost time and a missed opportunity where my husband and I could have had more support breaking this down in spreadsheets and like, this is the data you want to look at. I think we would have made some drastic changes with staff like much sooner than we did.
Yeah.
And marketing strategies. And just like, I felt like we were like the never ending bank.
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes business is that way, right? Or a lot of times business is
that's how you learn.
Especially when you're a small business, right? When
yes.
you're starting out from the ground up. Okay. So, but a lot of things worked.
Yes.
A lot of things worked.
They did.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Obviously, you're like, hey, I need to invest in marketing. Maybe it wasn't like always effective, but you knew it worked. What else worked? I mean, you guys made what, $60,000 on average a month, or it probably went up as you didn't start at 60K, but it went up over time. So people were coming in, they were buying. So what worked? Like you must have had some really good results.
Building out the trust and being committed to my job every single day, Monday through Friday, 8:30 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, consistency, letting people know I was there for them. Like it's not just Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 to 4. It doesn't work like that. You have to put the time in. You have to be committed. You have to, because people talk about it and they're like, you have to go see Tommi Jo. You have to go see Tommi Jo and her team. Like they're the best. And so we just built out that authority in our community and laid it out. Like we want to be the best and we want to be here for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I did one of my presentations a couple of years ago at one of the conferences I spoke at was the 3 R's: results equal retention equal referrals.
So true.
I think that's huge. That's great. And this is obviously how I built my agency as well too. A lot of it was we obviously run paid ads too, but
I see your name get thrown out a lot.
Yeah, so
that's how I found you.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, you do a great job for somebody, and they want to promote that, right? It's with every service provider. It's like you do a great job for somebody, and then you're like, hey, can you share this with other people who you're basically helping you're helping that person, and that person is going to help more people as well.
I think it's hard, like when injectors or aesthetic nurses, nurse practitioners, medical providers want to start their own practice because they have like the medical training, but they don't have the business training. And I feel like it's like maybe it's taboo, like there's going to be a lot of money in it, but they don't realize what the business side of it takes and the investment side of things. And then they get going and then they have no idea. And I want them to know, like, just hang in there. Stay the course, find an amazing mentor, find someone who's like awesome at marketing. And if you build it, they will come. Like I'm 120% sure on that. Like I feel very great about that. And I'm sure you've met people in that same boat. Like they're like, Neil, I don't know if we can do this anymore.
Did you were you ever at a point where it was like, all right, we're open, we're the customers, or was it
No, it was.
Or was it like, did you tell everybody and their moms before you opened their doors that like, I'm going to have a practice, I want to see you there?
So my website designer started SEO for me like 8 months before we even opened. So he was already doing this search engine optimization. I have to back up with that. So I actually had him do an ease of integration into the marketplace because I'm like, okay, where's my scalability here? Are we coming in at like 100 or am I coming in at like maybe a 5? I came in at like a 0. He's like, there's no one that's doing any of this stuff that you're going to be able to like compete with. And I was like, so what does that mean exactly? He's like, you're all in. Like, there's no competition. Like, you've got this. And so
there was no other med spas in La Crosse at the time?
There are, but they're not doing what I'm doing.
How many are there?
At that time, there were like 2 or 3. Very small.
Now there's like 10 probably.
You got it. Yeah.
Or more.
I feel like once I there's kind of like paved the way.
Shop and a med spa.
Yeah. Like I started and then people were like, oh, I'm going to do that
it is
too.
a gold. It's like a modern day gold rush, right? Like the weight loss thing. And we had I need to say this because it's super true, but on my last episode, you should check it out. It was awesome. One of my friends, Dr. Sam Patel, he owns a consulting company, and he was saying nowadays people don't really care like what services you have, or they don't really care like who you are or your credentials and stuff like that. They just, because there's so many people or so many providers.
Yeah.
So, but they just like your initial point of contact is your marketing and sales. Mm-hmm. So it's like, but if you're always popping up in front of their face, they're like, okay, I'm going to start caring.
Yes.
Which is kind of an interesting phenomenon because
you have to see it like 16 times.
Right. Because in the medical field, and a lot of doctors who start at med spas, they have a rude awakening because most of the time either their insurance providers helps them get patients.
Yes.
Or it's just like you are the local, it's like you are the local post office. Right? You just go there because it's in the vicinity and there's no one else there. Now it's like
everywhere.
We have options. So it's just going to be a ruthless game moving forward of like, hey, who's going to spend more dollars? I think
there's a difference though in like places that offer just like, they're trying to see people by the minute, like just get them in, get them out, like cattle, versus people who want to take time and develop a treatment plan with their clients. I'm on the other side of that. So we spend a lot of time with our clients developing a treatment plan that's going to get them the long-term results they're looking for. And we're talking like a 9 to 12 month treatment plan valued at $15,000 to $20,000.
Let's go.
And our clients love that because who wants to come in? Like Neil comes in and he's like, okay, I'm dropping $2,500 today. What's my next session going to look like, Tommi Jo? And I'm like, oh, we're going to have you back in 8 weeks. So we're going to do this all again. And then you're like, okay, so I have to spend another $2,500. And eventually you're like frustrated because you're like, how long do we have to keep doing this? So clients love...
What is the outcome? What is the timeline?
Exactly.
What are my expectations, desired results?
That's going to set you apart from other places because now your clients trust you. They're like, okay, this person's not giving me false information here. Like they know what the plan is. I email them a copy. It's in their chart. Everyone's on the same page and we book out all of their appointments. So there is no surprise at the end of every appointment.
I love that. I'm trying to get all of my clients to really, especially on the initial visit and consultation, to just spend more time with people.
It's so important.
Because even like, with a mass market advertising, like you have to have a good offer out there because everybody else is, if you don't have one, somebody else will. So, but you shift the narrative away from just the promo to like, hey, how can I help you? And then it becomes a little bit more humane and personalized and authentic, where you can actually sit down and say, hey, like, tell me all the things I can help you with. And especially with a practice like yours, where you have so many different services and pain points you can solve. And you're like, hey, like this is, you setting the tone and expectation for a long-term journey. And it's like, no, I really do want to help you, and we likely can. So let's sit. I know you're coming in for Botox, but let's sit down and talk about your health. Talk about how you're feeling, how you're looking.
Yeah.
Let's scan the entire body.
Absolutely. And that starts with a new client intake form too. So if your clients are filling that out for you and they're touching on all the subjects that bug them, okay, well, I now know how the conversation is going to go and what I'm going to talk about, because that's what they're looking for a solution to. And a lot of times women come in, have no idea that we offer bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And they check all the boxes to like, I have anxiety, I'm depressed, I have no energy, I have brain fog, I'm not sleeping, I have hot flashes. Well, I know where that conversation is going to go. Like, they need to know about that. And most women are like, I had no idea, because it's not talked about in Western medicine.
Right. So let's talk about your strategy for approaching that, because obviously we can't sell them everything at once.
No. Baby steps.
Baby steps. So let's talk about those baby steps. I'm super big on getting away from like the 3-packs and the 5-packs and the 10-packs and just going into individualized, hey, here's the total value. Here's how many months where you're going to be with us. Here's what the program's going to look like. And at least having a start and a buy-in, some sort of a buy-in, right? So what does that look like for you guys? Like, how do you map out your patient journey? So somebody is not overwhelmed, and also we're always going to have people who aren't going to buy in the first visit, but what does that buy-in look like as well?
Yeah, it helps to eliminate decision fatigue. So if clients come in and their priority is like feeling better on the inside, that's going to be starting with hormones and weight loss, because a lot of our clients are perimenopause, premenopause. They're starting to gain that extra weight. Relationships at home are probably not the best with children and significant other. That's more important to us. They have to feel better here, so on the inside, so they can feel great on the outside. And so we start with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy and weight loss. And once we build out that trusting relationship with them and they start feeling better, and too, because they will start walking in your practice a totally different person. They're like, okay, Tommi Jo, let's focus on this. And then we can develop a treatment plan for the aesthetic portion. It's really cool to watch. It's like a patient 365. It's really fun. If you can picture that, I don't know. You like see sad pandas and frowns and like overweight.
Patient 365.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. And then they're down 40 pounds. They have a relationship back with their husband. They're sleeping better. They have no more hot flashes. They have a better relationship with their kids, and it's amazing.
So are we focusing first to get them to buy into the Driftless Aesthetics family? Do we focus on one biggest pain point to solve? Hey, let's solve this first.
Yep.
And then we'll help you with
because
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's overwhelming. This industry is so overwhelming. So if you bombard them with everything all at once, they're like, whoa.
I like that decision fatigue. Yeah.
Too much. And so if you're breaking it down into like, is it aesthetics that's priority, or is it how you're feeling on the inside that's priority? Then you know which road to take. And then it helps create the treatment plan.
Gotcha. When is a good time to revisit? Obviously, the default answer is when they're happy. You want to, talk about other things. But in your practice, when do you guys start to revisit other pain points?
That's easy.
Okay.
You ready for it?
I'm ready.
When you start to see jowls.
When you start to see what?
Jowls. Because now they're losing all the fat in their face.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you're like, are you ready?
So this is for your medical weight loss clients.
And hormone replacement therapy.
Replacement therapy. Okay. Yeah.
So
what about some of your other clients? Let's talk about some of, I know medical weight loss is huge for you.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your like maybe facial aesthetics clients too. Is it like a specific thing when you're like, when they are the happiest, or is it at a specific predetermined touch point?
Predetermined. So asking the one simple question, or having that conversation of like, I see why you're scheduled with me, but what brings you in today? And let them start the conversation is going to help dictate what we're starting with. And all my estheticians do the same thing. And so then you can develop the road plan, the roadmap. This is where we're going with solutions.
Yeah.
Because then you're letting them talk to you about why they're there versus me going through a checklist. Like, even though in my brain, I know this is what brought you in today, I can still touch on those things during the conversation of why they're here.
Yeah. I think in our industry, like even in my spa, like this is the biggest, but one of the most difficult low-hanging fruits in some ways, I think. Like,
tell me more.
Like, in a sense, like sometimes we forget, or sometimes we, it's like we're so focused on getting clients pain point number one fixed.
Sure.
That it's like, all right, we just focus on that, and then so having that process, I know, like in my spot, which is on a smaller scale, but like we need to do a better job with like, hey, like we have made progress, like really great progress on eliminate fat from your stomach, and let's move on to cellulite reduction in your legs, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's a process. You're learning how to make it better.
Yep.
I didn't start my practice like that, but you're learning, and you're like, oh man, you look back at some of those like early visits with people and you're like, oh man, I totally messed that up, or I totally missed an opportunity. But you're going to make mistakes along the way. Yeah.
We've, I know that for us, it's like every time though we get somebody who's got crazy good results, now it's like, all right, let's get that referral going, because you
got it dialed in.
Yeah. The referrals have been really solid. What is you guys' mechanisms for referrals? Obviously, for me, it's always like if somebody's getting peak results, let's ask for a referral.
Yeah, so we have a couple of different ways. We have referral cards, so they can fill out their name on it and then give it to a friend. So the friend will get $50 on a $150 purchase or more, and then the person referring will get $50 added to their account. So that's one way. Another way is our app-based system. You probably are familiar.
EPMD.
You got it. So in there, you can refer a friend and earn cash that way. And then, of course, word of mouth.
What's your utilization for that? People are
ask me in a different way, maybe. I'll understand.
Like, do you feel like people are utilizing the app pretty often?
Yes. I think, yes, they should, because it just continues to grow. I've had it for a little over a year. So I think they should. So if you have people investing in these like large treatment plans and they're doing all this investment in their face, they should be coming in every month to take care of their skin with an esthetician, whether it's a dermaplane, a microderm, a hydrofacial, a laser treatment, just to like quick get the collagen production message going. Absolutely. And then they get a discount on their neurotoxins. Who's not coming in for their neurotoxins after they just spent $20,000 on their face? So it's a great benefit. I encourage everyone to do it.
Yeah. What I was asking is like with Repeat MD, do you feel like people are active on it?
Very active.
They are.
Yeah. You have to train your staff or your clients when they come in. And then we have the QR codes everywhere. And then we'll just simply ask, did you check in today? Do you have any promotions you're using today? And so that's their cue or reminder. If they didn't, they can check in for the day.
Gotcha. And are you getting referrals through the app or just kind of word of mouth mostly?
3 different ways: the app, and then the referral cards, and word of mouth.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like word of mouth is just.
We have some clients that have like $500 in referral credits, and then they'll come in and just like that will pay for all their Dysport for like one appointment. Like they're kind of cute.
Why not? So you're in year 3. Okay. So we talked about some goals. 20% growth at least, which would put us at where again?
1.45 million.
1.45 million. Is that a non-negotiable goal?
Like, do you want to see it higher, Neil? Or...
No, I'm saying, is that a soft goal, hard goal, non-negotiable?
Oh, no, that's non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
Like,
so we got to beat it.
It's nothing but up.
Okay.
Yeah. So last year was 1.1. This year, the goal is 1.45.
Okay.
Because you have to still be able to pay for all the funness that you're investing back into the business.
For sure.
So you can grow.
Right.
Yeah.
So have you ever started tracking? I think we talked about this before, but average or annual patient value?
Ooh, What's a good one? Tell me more.
I feel like that's
I don't think I've done that one.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it. I'll help you with that. But so I started doing that in my practice, and like with body, it's like, quite frankly, a lot of people just go through a transformation and they're good.
Yeah.
Because I'm solely a body studio, but like you have so much more to offer. So this is why you're getting people to do peptides, hormones, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Body sculpting, face. So to me, I think one of the most important KPIs too is annual patient value. And like, quite frankly, I would just be curious to look at your client list from when you started.
Oh boy.
Zero.
None.
No, I know. I know. Just look at all the clients from 2021 to now.
Yeah.
Or is it 20 or 22?
22.
22 till now, and say how much has like your customer list, how much have these people spent, how many times have they been back, your revenue per visit,
oh my gosh.
and then see like annual value of the client and just understand, because to me this helps you like determine how much you could spend in marketing. So like, all right, so I'm getting, if I spend total a month in like $6,000 a month, and I'm getting 30 people in the door, and out of these 30 people, let's just say your conversion rate's like a third, and 10 people stay with you, but every single patient that you have spends $3,000 with you in a year, which I'm sure yours probably do more on average, maybe. I think probably more. Average aesthetics patients, I think, in America, but I know it's market adjusted, spends anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 a year. But I'll just say to spend $3,000, that's $30,000 ROI, right? So I'm like, I'm spending $6,000, I'm getting 30 back. I like those odds, right? I'll do them all day.
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, maybe, so if I spend $6,000, I want to double that. So
our previous conversations are making more sense to me, because you tried explaining that or like getting that out of me before, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, because then
I didn't even know my KPIs at that point.
Yeah, you understand like the risk you can take. You know what I mean? Obviously, capacity is one thing we talked about that can be a constraint if you don't have that, because you can also, the overflow can be somewhat negative at times.
Yeah, because then people can't get in when they want to. That's number one. And then number two, your staff are like burnt out.
That's when you introduce minimum spend. No, I'm just kidding. I'm getting some evil ideas.
I've got some ideas for you.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's huge, right? Because a lot of people, they struggle with understanding, like, it's scary sometimes. Like, I'm putting in $5,000 a month in ad spend. I'm like, it's a lot of money, but then, hey, we can sell $25,000 to $40,000 in packages.
Yeah, the lifetime value.
Yeah,
of what is gonna come back from that client. Yeah,
and it seems like your lifetime value, I know we're gonna dig into numbers together, but it seems like it's high, which is good, because we're gonna find out, because it helps you minimize your risk, and it helps you to just take a deep breath and like, hey, we're comfortable with spending even more marketing dollars to get more people on the door, because we sell at a good rate and we retain at a good rate, and then we get referrals at a good rate. So with those three metrics, you're like, hey, you have the confidence, because you want to minimize some risk in some ways, but you have the confidence and like, hey, we can get these people to spend a few K with us and we can really help them.
With any business, risk equals reward. Like, you have to, like, it's scary, like anything you purchase in this industry. But I think if you're going to put money on something, it's going to be marketing, because that's what's going to help you grow.
You always need new clients or new patients. Always.
If you build it, they will come. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Like, you have new machines. I mean, some of them cost more than a Rolls Royce. Like, that's a huge risk. But if I were to do it all over again, I would do the marketing piece like first, if I would have known better. Yeah. But I didn't. I was just a little.
That's okay.
A little baby in med spa.
This is for everybody listening.
Yeah.
Marketing first.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Hands down. Like, if I would have listened to my husband, I did not. He'll probably listen to this, but yeah, he was totally right. Yeah.
What's your husband's name?
George.
You were right, George.
Yeah.
You were right.
You know, what's interesting is his intuition is always right. So I have learned to lean into that as an opportunity to help me make decisions. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like he's got a sixth sense and he just knows. And I'm like, I need to listen just a little bit more.
Is he how involved is he?
He's the CFO. So he we do all the financial stuff together.
Does he do anything else besides working with you right now? He's just still got other gigs?
He has a full-time job. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He's the director of the transportation department for a local school district. It's Winona, Minnesota. Yeah. So it's
cool. But he's
up every morning at 2:45 and at work by 4:30. Like
2:45.
Yeah. Those school buses have to get turned on early.
Snoozing.
Yeah. No, we both work very hard. And we usually don't even see each other until Saturday morning because he goes to bed early. I get home usually by 9:00 at night. He's already in bed. And then I'm with Riker at nighttime and then getting stuff ready for the next day. And then I'll stay up late charting and then I'll go to bed. George is up by 2:45. He's at work by 4:30.
You got to get you more help.
Got
to get you more help.
Yeah.
How's the local?
Are they gonna are you gonna
how's the local talent? How's the local talent in the cross?
No bueno, Neil.
But you got some great staff. Let's talk about your existing staff because they're phenomenal.
They're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even that. So
wait till you meet Jordan.
Jordan's a rock star here. Yeah. So you have, let's talk about staff. I think taking care of your staff is extremely important to make sure they are incentivized, they are rewarded.
Yeah, that was another lesson I learned hard in the first year too.
Yeah, you also hold them accountable, etc. Let's talk about that. What kind of mechanisms do you have in place to keep them motivated and keep them going?
Yeah. They're in charge of their own paycheck. So the mentor.
Oh yeah, you have some crazy commission.
I do. So I learned in the first year, the mentor I started with.
Let's throw out some numbers. Shock. I want you to go. Shock people. Let's go. Because I think it's high. If I remember correctly, it's something. It's is it a profit? Profit sharing?
Kind of. So they have a tier metric system. So I don't want to share Jordan's.
That's okay.
Pay scale.
That's fine.
That's pretty private with my other staff. But she has an hourly wage. And then she also has commission. So it's broken down into 5 tiers. So commission goes up the more she makes. So
the more she sells.
Or the more revenue she brings in. So girlfriend does very well. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So she's a hard worker. I have to say we both grew up on farms and we're both we're all in. We do hard shit every day and we don't complain. And I love that about her. And she loves to learn.
It's easier now than the farm stuff.
Yes. I would never
from
go
a
back.
physical way.
Yeah, we'll never go back to farming.
All right.
And then Estos are the same.
Yeah.
Base hourly, commission, and then they also get bonuses. So if they go over a certain threshold every month, Christmas, December, I made it rain. So if they beat between 100 and 125,000, they got 1% of that 25,000 over. And then if they did 125 to 150,000, they got 2% of, if they hit 150, they each got 2% bonus. And then if they hit 160, I threw in 3%. So they would have made 3% on the 160 each. So that in addition to their commissions, plus their hourly wage, plus their tips. So they did very well.
That's great. So you really did take care of them.
But I've really dialed into that because my first year was rough. Tell
me more.
Well, the first mentor I had
lessons,
told me
but not losses.
Correct. Yes. Don't just pay hourly. Don't go in with a high hourly wage and then think that person's going to want to come in and achieve goals. Yes. And then especially healthcare providers, they're in this mindset of
they provide healthcare.
Yes.
Or whatever services. Yeah.
Yes. Or they want to get paid what they're making in a hospital system. It's not the same thing. It's totally different. So I had to really separate that in my own mind because that's how I was paid. And then I don't even take a paycheck. Like I am a business owner and like they're not getting a paycheck. The paycheck pays taxes. But in the back of my mind, I had a really hard time with that because I'm like, no, I can't pay you $60 an hour. And then you're not coming to the table with even your revenue or your sales coming in, paying your wages. Like it was just like, it was a bust for us in year one. So then that's what Heather, I met in year two. And then we really dialed into numbers. Like this is what your team needs to generate in order to make what they want at that price point. And so for the year two in 2020, what year was that? 2024, going into 2024, Neil, I was working the business by myself, one part-time esthetician and a front desk person up until September of 24. And that's when, just think about that. So I had like 7 staff in my first year. And then revenue was horrible. I got rid of all of them. Started 2024 on a new note. I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm doing this by myself. So number one, I was proving to myself I could do revenue on my own with one part-time esthetician and a front desk person. I could do it. And then Jordan came in September of 24. And then all the other staff just kind of followed. Like it just fell into place. And that's when revenue just like went through the roof.
Yeah, staff is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and reimbursing them the correct way. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people go to school for a certain craft.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of think, okay, well, I'm just going to go provide that craft.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I mean, to me, it's like, if that's fine, you know, I mean, so you can go to a hospital and make more money, you can have a lot of stress.
Absolutely.
Likely a lot of crazy hours.
Yeah.
Or you can go work at a cool med spa.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the expectations are different, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're going to go and just do fulfillment, then you're probably going to get paid less.
Correct.
You're kind of on the ops side. But if you're going to sell, you should get paid more because you're working, you're really contributing to the overall success and growth of the practice. And I like your approach of like having a common goal. So they're like incentivized. They're like, hey girls, like we gotta sell. Like let's crank this out because we gotta get bonuses. I love that.
Yes.
I want to promote that for my clients.
For your staff.
For my staff.
Yeah.
My
the consultation is huge too. So when you're bringing on new staff, you have to make sure you're all doing your consults the same. You cannot be different. Sure. And you all have the same goal.
The driftless way.
That's right.
Talk to me about the driftless way.
Because everyone needs to walk out with a driftless glow. Yeah.
All right.
But it's all about the consultation. If it's not done right, it's not going to happen. So if you have someone coming in that thinks they're just going to come in and make like $60, $70, $80 an hour and then not sell anything, and they're just going to start putting needles in people's faces, it's not going to happen. You have to have a strong consultation and you have to have a treatment plan for that person.
Yeah.
Because that's where your money's going to be.
How much that has changed in the last, even since you started.
Yeah.
I know I started in marketing in 2020. I tell this story so many times, but my first ad was, I think I made it in like Paint. No, I didn't make it in Paint, but
was it a really bad Canva?
No, I didn't even know what it was. It was a lady that was holding up a sign. It was like one of those ads.
Yeah.
And it was whatever the device they had. It was like, is greater than cool sculpting, you know? I've told this 1,000 times. And then it was like $1,000 ad spend, 350 leads, like booked them like 100 appointments or consultations. They were all free, like 85% show rate. I was like, man, this is amazing. It didn't last long. It really didn't last long.
How did that work out?
Well, these guys, it was like during the lockdowns and they shut down a business.
Yeah.
They never reopened. I'm like, and that was after we did all their branding and all that stuff. And they're like, we're just going to lose a ton of money.
Yeah.
And they should have stayed open because they would have blown up. But, so the industry's changed so much, right? So like people are non-committal, they no show, they have other options. If you don't have a good offer, somebody else is going to have a good offer. If you don't have a good consult process, somebody else, if you don't sell them, somebody else will sure as hell sell them. So I always tell people, like, that's what I tell my sales guy at the agency as well. I'm like, if you don't sell them, you're probably doing them a disservice because they're gonna go to another crappy agency that has a good sales guy that's very persuasive, but maybe has a shitty product or service, and then they're gonna
get mad.
They're gonna have a bad experience. So we might as well like do a good.
Get jaded.
Might as well sell them and do a good job for them, because otherwise they're going to a low cost provider who's probably gonna butcher their experience. So what we did, you're gonna like this. So we scrapped from our sales deck recently. We scrapped the word agency because of the reputation agencies have in this space.
Sure.
And we obviously do a lot more than that. So being that we do lead generation, appointment booking, and coaching and training, we switched over all of our messaging to a growth partner, because that's what I want to be. I want to be a growth partner.
You want to come alongside.
Yeah. Not an agency. And
and it's once you have someone that's jaded, I think it's really hard to build trust again. How many clients have you worked with where they're like, ooh, I don't know about you.
I've had so many conversations.
Yeah.
It's in every industry now.
Yeah. It's hard.
Every industry is like almost a commodity, right? So differentiation is key. Minimizing risk is key. Building trust is key. Social proof is key. All those things. So year 3, we're in year 3 right now. We got to find some more staff.
Please.
What's your vision? What's your vision for this thing? Do you just want to blow it up? Do you want to be the market leader? Do you want to have multiple locations? Do you want to just dominate your market?
I have been softly looking for a second location.
Where?
In like a 15-mile radius of where we currently are.
Why? Why do you need a second location within a 15-mile radius if it's the same market?
My website designer might do some geofencing for me. So we have a couple of locations where...
But isn't that the same market anyways?
Not really. So we have like the south side of town, like where, like there's a line, and then you have like this side of town. And then you have like Onalaska, Winona, like northern part of town. And there's people that preference only coming into Onalaska, Wisconsin, and no further. And then like we're on the south side, we're in La Crosse, Wisconsin. So we capture like Iowa, like the whole entire southern part of where we are within like a 50-mile radius going that way. And so with geofencing, we've learned we have a lot of hot searches coming from Rochester, Minnesota. And I think that came from our initial ad we did with you. And then Onalaska. So we're outgrowing our space. So my husband and I are thinking, okay, we should probably invest in our own commercial real estate with what we pay in rent. We should just be all in at this point. So we're thinking very strongly of a second location. And I did become certified as an aesthetics school in 2024 as well. That took me 10 months to do. So then my brain is going into like, okay, I'm hiring all these people. They're green. I'm doing all this training. And then they end up not being good matches. What happens if I just open my own aesthetic school and train someone or people the way I want them to work, but have it more advanced and more robust? So we're looking at a much bigger location, wanting to do more within the community.
What about other markets that are not within like a immediate radius? Is that in the plans? Or
we have looked at buying out a location that's perhaps
I like that
so well, because then it's already built out. All the legwork is done, and that would be super easy to just flip. But those are a little difficult to find. If it were the right place, right location,
you'll probably be crushing it already.
Yeah. Because then you're not doing
I like these tier 3
all
markets.
The ground zero stuff all over again.
I like your tier 3 market. Less competition, and it's just I don't know, it's fun. You can build this like...
What would Neil do?
I would just find probably other tier 3 markets within your state that have a good enough addressable audience size to run ads, and then I would just
how do you find them?
I would outspend it. You just talk to me, and then we'll find it for you.
Do you know some?
We'll do some research.
Do you have a few?
I mean, it's like, hey, you find the right demographics, and it's interesting because like even in communities that seem less affluent, there's a lot of like
they shock you.
Sorry,
they shock you.
they very much so shock you because like the census data is something that we go by when doing research, but it's not always that accurate. And farmers, for example, there's a lot of farmers in America, which people don't know about. They have a lot of disposable income.
Absolutely.
And they hide it really well. Okay. I see you, farmers. But they hide it very well. And they have a lot of money. They're just not, they save a lot. And, or they go to like 3 hours away or 4 hours away to major metro areas to get services done, but they don't go as often. So if you can get a place nearby, they're going to go more often. Let's talk. I mean, look at Tara's location.
Absolutely.
Great little cutesy
Southern
town. You know what I mean? She's dominating the area, right?
Yeah.
I have other clients who are in small markets, absolutely dominating, and now they're, with our paid ads, they're capturing 50-mile radius and they're getting people to come in, and those people don't have anywhere to go either unless they're going to a major metro town. So these markets are doing really well. I mean, so I think tier 1 markets, super competitive. I personally would not open a spa there, but I have clients that have spas there. They do well, but they spend significant amount of money investing in marketing to outspend others. I like tier 2 markets, smaller cities that have good disposable income. I can run my ads there and do really well. So my next 2 locations are Birmingham and Huntsville, Alabama, 2 growing markets, not as saturated, really healthy, good, good money.
Am I going to Alabama?
Come to Alabama.
Am I going to the Bama?
It's beautiful. But yeah, I think that's it. I think it's obviously something to look into, but also just like I think you still have a good runway with your location, right? Like you can be the absolute market leader.
Yes, but the space we're in right now is the challenge because we're all on top of each other. Like there's no more room for stuff. Like we're done. Like there's nowhere else, no more storage. Like there's nowhere for me to go.
Like you're doing.
I already put a hole in the wall.
Body sculpting in a parking lot. Right?
Pretty much. Like the restaurant next door. Like I already put a hole in the wall. Like the landlord's going to be like, what do you want to do next? And I'm like, there's nowhere for me to go, dude. He's talked about me like taking over like the downstairs part, which is like a full on dental office, like the same size as we're in. But like, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I still like the idea of just buying our own space, investing in our own commercial real estate.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's smart.
I see your wheels turning.
They're always turning. What kind of, there's a lot of good advice that I think you shared here. And I know like I have people who have commented and have shared some insights with me who are new. We have existing listeners and then clients, but let's talk about some good advice. And I'm just going to summarize and then maybe tell me if I missed anything, but like, I love that you put together a business plan, and I know a lot of people have a hard time with that. Where would you direct somebody to like?
Yeah. There's a lot of free resources out there. So if you have a local university that has like a business department or like a women's business ran only, like in the state of Wisconsin, we have WIBIC, which is specifically for women and underserved individuals to get loans to open their own business. You don't even have to get a loan with them. Like they have free services to get educated on how to start the business plan. How do you get financing? What do I need for money? Like they have all these free resources. Our local university, one of them has a business department. They had someone there look over my business plan before I presented to my husband. Again, it was free. So lean into local resources and see what's available.
You had to learn a lot though, I'm sure, as you went too.
I did. Yeah.
I mean, putting together like a financial forecast isn't easy.
No.
Like, or maybe like even a projected P&L with like.
Do you know what my goal was for year one?
What?
1.1.
1.1
million
for year one, and you fell short of 300K.
I did,
but it's okay.
But I was so hard on myself. Like I felt like a total failure. And then
it's a good goal.
then I hit it in year 2. But then as I started meeting more people like yourself that are like working with different clients, like I'm only working with myself. I'm my biggest competitor, right? I don't get to talk to other med spa owners, but you do. And then you're like, you're doing better than you think you are. And I'm like, I don't have anything to compare it to. So like I was so hard on myself. Like I was constantly beating myself up.
Well, that's another good lesson, I think, is just interfacing. I like being in the role I am, and now as a coach and as a
have a really fun role
as an operator too.
Yeah,
because I get to see both sides. But just having the ecosystem of people to talk to, and I think I need to maybe just promote a lot more than that with my clients. We have 200 clients. I mean, I would love to do something more where we can have an interchange of ideas as well, and just feedback, which can be non-biased feedback or just a conversation, because
that's the support network because you can't like go to your competitor like 10 miles down the road.
Be like, how you doing?
Yeah.
Share
or
your
like
best practices with me.
Right. Or like, this is my struggle right now. Like I am really struggling. You can't talk to them about it. But you can with you. But if you have other clients and you can bring them together in like a safe space and you could talk about those struggles together and how to overcome it, it's seriously, it like so was touching to my heart, because like, I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Like even for my mental health, I'm like, I'm not the only one going through this. I felt normal at that point.
Yeah. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they tend to be a little sheltered in some ways. And,
absolutely.
Hard on themselves, and sure. You've
been there, done that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My first year as an agency owner was crazy. I was doing, I think every day it was 16 hours every single day for 6 months. I think I hired my first person 4 or 5 months in. So I was an account manager, salesperson. I was doing my own marketing. I was doing my own finance. I was doing my own accounting. I read my own ads.
You were not sleeping.
No, I wasn't sleeping at all.
Yeah.
It was crazy. There's a lot of lessons there for sure.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, I need some help. This is not sustainable. I was like, I have a good thing going, but it's not going to be going for a good time. I'm just going to burn out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just, I was in a coaching program myself, and I was like, man, I just got to talk to some people, because I'm like, what's up, guys? I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, I'm okay, but I'm not okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you don't feel normal. You're like, is this normal? Like, am I going through the right growing pains? Like, I need someone to talk to.
Yeah. But if there's no struggles, there's no lessons, right?
Every day is an opportunity to do it better.
That's how we get better. Let's get into some fun questions.
Oh.
Let's get into some fun questions.
They're about you, right?
They're not about me.
Darn it.
This is not about me. This podcast is about you guys.
I think people should know more about you.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
They can Google all kinds of fun stuff. Hot takes. I love beef tallow. And I know people in aesthetic space are like, I have clients, divided waves of clients. What would you say? Yay or nay?
No.
No beef tallow?
My estheticians say no.
I gotta have a talk with them. Look at this forehead. It's beef tallow. Sponsored by beef tallow.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah, I'm being totally serious.
Have you broke out or any side effects?
I have not at all. So maybe it matters where you get it from.
Perhaps.
You're from Wisconsin. You should be supporting beef tallow. You're big Wisconsin.
It's in my lip balm.
See? There you go. So maybe?
Maybe.
Okay.
But if you put it on the wrong skin,
I don't know,
it's going to clog the pores and probably cause a breakout.
Okay.
And then you're going to have really pissed off clients.
Okay, you can look at my forehead. Any injections? Yes or no?
Raise your eyebrows. Do mean face, grumpy face, like focus face. There's nothing in your 11s, but I would say yes in your forehead.
Okay. No, it's nothing.
What?
No, nothing. Thank you.
Have you ever had neurotoxins?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing ever.
What?
Nothing ever.
No.
Most people they don't guess my age right either. But
maybe you should have Tara bring some injectables so you can try it.
I don't know.
How young are you again?
35.
That's incredible. And you've never had neurotoxins?
No.
You're very blessed.
Thanks.
You have great
Mom.
genes. Yeah.
Okay, let's do more hot takes. What is your favorite? I like this question a lot. What is your favorite luxury brand that you use?
Luxury brand?
Luxury brand.
I might kill you on this one, but I don't have one. I'm like super simple.
Okay.
Like, are you talking like handbags or like clothing?
Clothing, cars, watches.
I'm pretty simple, Neil.
You have to. Everybody has one. You got to tell me.
Riker, what's my favorite brand at home?
What's something that really you could say expensive that you bought for yourself?
What is it, Riker? I don't know. Neil, I don't spend money on myself.
Let's talk about
a Lexus car.
Okay, Lexus car.
Yeah.
What's your favorite like simple brand? You said you rent your clothing, which I think is. I haven't heard of it, but I want to know more.
Well, it saves a lot of money on buying clothes I'm never going to wear again.
I like that idea.
Yeah. So I rent clothes from Nuuly.
Okay.
It's Nuuly.
Uh-huh.
They better give you some sponsorship for this because,
let's go.
Yeah. So how many people are in GLP-1s? Millions use weight loss drugs. Okay. They're in the process of losing weight. I have lost weight, not through GLP-1s, but like instead of buying clothes like every 4 weeks and then you're not going to be in them again in another 4 weeks, I started renting my clothes like almost a year ago.
That's cool.
So then you have them for a month. I get like 10 pieces for $120 a month.
So you never get bored and
No.
you don't participate in fast fashion.
I don't.
Okay.
No. And so I send it back. You pick your next set of 10 and then you're never spending money on clothes you're going to outgrow because you're going to shrink. And then my husband loves it because I'm not clothes shopping all the time. It just comes to our door and goes back and it's perfect.
How did you lose weight? If you don't mind sharing a little bit of your journey, I know.
Yeah. So my husband had gastric bypass a little over a year and a half ago. And with that is a lifestyle change. And so when you're integrating his diet changes into the household, it's life-changing. So we're focused on lean proteins because as he's losing the weight, he's got to keep up lean muscle and then focus more on hydrating vegetables, fruits, no more crap food in the house. Like it's a lifestyle change.
Cool. Do you incorporate some of that in your practice as well?
Of course, absolutely.
Your patients.
So when females are losing weight that fast, like you don't want them losing the lean muscle, especially like your menopausal women. They're going to be more susceptible to osteoporosis and bone issues. So I'm really big on stay high in lean protein. Protein's going to keep you fuller longer. Stay away from those gross carbs. And then have you ever used GLP-1?
I have not.
So it totally changes the brain. It actually, there's this light bulb up here and it shuts on and off with a GLP-1. And studies show that it actually is breaking bad habits. So like smoking, food is a habit, addictions. So it changes how your taste buds are perceiving things. So I always tell clients things that you used to love, like creamer in your coffee, sugars, cookies, chips, it's going to go out the door. And I said, I don't know how to explain it until you actually start the process. So when they start going through that transformation, they're like, I have no more nighttime cravings. I don't like sugar anymore. I'm not eating candy. They don't know that they're actually changing their gut microbiome. And that from the gut is the message that goes to your brain. That's what you're hungry for. So when they're on the GLP-1 and they're changing their lifestyle habits and they're staying high in lean protein, high in veggies, high in fruits, healthier options, when they come off the medication, they're going to maintain that lifestyle and they're going to keep the weight off.
Yeah. It's not just like, hey, here's an injection.
Absolutely not. And then we have a nutritionist, Caddy Corner from us. It's like a physical therapy nutrition place. We refer a lot of clients to her because I'm like, if you really want to be successful and take this to a whole nother level, I would encourage you to partner with our nutritionist who is Caddy Corner from here.
Awesome. Where can people find you if they want to connect with you, do a little brainstorm or have an entrepreneurial conversation?
Call Neil. No, I'm kidding.
Don't call me.
Driftlessaesthetics.com.
Driftlessaesthetics.com.
Yeah. Instagram is drift.lessaesthetics.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And you might answer a DM or two.
One of my staff will. Yeah.
One of your staff will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we talked a little bit about entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs connecting together. I think this is a call to action for me as well, just to
You should do like a yearly like retreat.
Yeah, retreat, mastermind. I think it'd be good. I've been thinking about that for a long time. I think there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to share. Everybody does things a little bit differently. We should be helping each other.
Absolutely. I love going to stuff like that. Like you learn so much from your peers and each other. Like you're just learning the way of the world.
Yeah. Invest more in marketing. Get those paid ads up and running, baby. Paid ads up and running. Cool. Any final words of advice for anybody listening to just obviously we want to make sure we represent our industry in the best way, try to promote things and heading in the right direction. What else would you say? Anything that we missed in today's conversation or anything that you want to add for our peers in the industry?
Yeah, like support each other. Don't tear each other down. I think it can get really catty at times. And like, that's not the energy you want in your own space. And then being new to the industry, just hang in there. Like, don't give up. Like, just continue believing in the process and invest in marketing. Like, if you build it seriously, your person, your people, they will come. Your staff will grow with you. You find the right staff. If you fall on your face, get back up and just do it all over again and just learn from your mistakes.
Lessons, not losses.
That's right.
Thank you so much for coming in today. This is fantastic.
Thanks, Neil, for the invite. This was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.